Previously on Power Reviews.
No legal record whatsoever that anyone named Database Ranger has ever existed.
You know, I always imagined that if a girl was to scream and run away from me, it would be because I kissed her out of the blue, not vice versa.
Database, I think you need to see this.
Is that me?
Would appear so.
What on earth?
And now, Database Rangers Power Review.
Greetings, Ranger fans, and welcome to my new look.
What on earth are you doing?
Nothing! Nothing at all.
You have to let me run tests.
Nope, no tests. I don't test well. At least I probably wouldn't test well if I could remember anything about high school, college, kindergarten, or whatever I was doing before I was here in this apartment with you reviewing Power Rangers. Actually, reviewing Power Rangers sounds like a great idea. Much better than a little eye exam, don't you think so? I think so. Let's review some Power Rangers, okay? Okay. Greetings, Ranger fans.
Salutations.
And welcome to Power Reviews.
Power Reviews.
You know what's great? Laughter. Laughter is great. Because what is life if we can't laugh at ourselves? Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
I know, right? So let's take a look at it. What's the next episode again?
Episode 12 of Power Rangers Megaforce.
Last laugh. So the Rangers are hanging out in an outdoor mall, street fair, marketplace and decide to check out some street comics. Oh, let's see what the street comics have to say. I bet they're funny. Aren't funny things fun? Let's hear a joke.
Why was 6 scared to get next to 7?
Why?
'Cause 7, 8, 9.
These guys are pretty funny.
Yeah.
You're not laughing.
Perhaps because he still has some modicum of brain activity. After briefly discussing the nature of the comic and the straight man, the others derogatorily compare Megaforce Blue's sense of humor to that of the droid Templar, encouraging him to let go and just have fun.
Well, there's nothing wrong with letting go sometimes. Unless, of course, that means letting go of your physical body and getting sucked inside a spiky gourd thing only to be slowly dissolved into liquid and then drunk like a non-fat, high-protein Java Juice smoothie by an evil mutant monster, in which case I could definitely see something wrong with that.
The creature, which goes by the name
No joke, and that's no joke.
Charming, then quickly absconds with its captives as Vrock explains his plans to Admiral Malcor.
Did you know that babies laugh 300 times a day? And laughter is contagious.
Also, laughter is the best medicine, so long as you're not suffering from a hernia.
Meanwhile, the Megaforce Rangers have morphed in their pursuit of No Joke, whose escape is unexpectedly cut off by the droid Templar.
No need to chase him when you have weapons to stop him.
I hate to say this, but that machine does have a point. Not that the Megaforce Rangers pay it any mind, as they continue to utilize unarmed combat with the monster in their attempts to retrieve the pod.
Unfortunately, the monster then busts out the big guns, or wings, blowing the Rangers away and then flying off to meet with Blue Fur and Biggs. At least I believe that's what they're called. The show hasn't confirmed one way or another, and I'm starting to wonder if they ever will. Not that revelations regarding identity are a big deal or anything. No, definitely not. Also, quick note to the Foley guys. If you have a character spinning around in a gliding motion and you add the sound of footsteps, you are really not helping us take him seriously.
Keep sucking up those happy people until there's no laughter anywhere.
Regardless, after the abominable Blue Fur's cackling almost gets him captured by the pod, we return to the Megaforce Rangers, who are trying to formulate a plan to rescue their lost comrade.
The monster's gonna make us laugh. And when he does, we're gonna get sucked into its pod too.
Is this a joke?
What are we gonna do then? I mean, how can we resist laughing?
Just don't laugh!
Just don't laugh.
Thank you! So after that quick statement of the obvious, we switch over to something that's actually funny. A clown!
I think you're confusing funny with highly disturbing. After taking advantage of this particular instance of schadenfreude, the monster encounters the Megaforce Rangers, who plan to use the droid Templar and Megaforce Blue's lack of humor, by which I assume they mean the capacity for self-restraint, to take down the monster. Unfortunately, their teamwork still leaves much to be desired.
You failed to engage the enemy in a synchronized fashion. What happened?
What happened is you jumped the gun.
I didn't see any gun to jump over.
Oh.
I take it colloquialisms are not a part of its programming?
Doesn't look like it. Although they do get their act together eventually, despite what Jake thinks, the deadpan pair are still no match for the monster, who unleashes his worst assault yet. Tickle Wind.
No, it's tickling me pink.
Is it strange that I recognize this as a viable attack strategy?
No. It's strange that I recognize it as a viable attack strategy.
No Joke is so pleased with himself for capturing Jake and Emma that he almost laughs himself into the pod as well, before putting some buckles on his chuckles and running off to capture more of the easily amused populace. Seriously, I'm starting to wonder if he has a jangle your keys attack in store. No. So, Noah and Troy, having been abandoned by the stalwart Robo Knight, are left trying to figure out their own way to track the monster down.
It sure is quiet around here without laughter. Laughter. That's it. Tell me a joke, Noah. You have to make me laugh.
Oh no.
I don't know any.
You're trying too hard, okay? Let me try to make you laugh.
Oh no.
This is getting painful. Can we just...
What did the rock say to the geologist? Don't take me for granted. Huh? Really, Noah?
Well, I guess to each his own. Now that Troy has broken through Noah's super special scientific brand of humor, it's time to face off against the incoming monster, defusing his tickle wind and then surrounding him with the help of Robo Knight. Unfortunately, this just convinces the monster to unleash his secret weapon.
Fart jokes never fail.
Are you okay?
I just can't believe it's come to this. 20 years. Over 750 episodes. And we've achieved the sophistication level of Terrence and Philip. I just need some time to process this. Alright, that puts some things in perspective. Let's continue, shall we?
Indeed. Megaforce Blue and the droid Templar attempt to battle the monster alone, but again find themselves outmatched, forcing them to develop a new stratagem.
Why do seagulls fly over the sea?
I don't know. Why do seagulls fly over the sea?
If they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels.
Anywho, the comedy stylings of Blue Boy and Rusty tickle the monster's funny bone, forcing it to slice open the pod to keep from getting sucked in.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Now freed from their monstrous prison, the Megaforce Rangers initiate Ultra Mode, a tactic they probably should have attempted from the outset, and defeat the mutant creature with a coordinated merging of their Ultra Power Dynamic Strike with the droid Templar's Night Dynamic Attack.
This cues Rock and Malcor's stock footage to summon the Zombats and resurrect No Joke, forcing the Rangers and Robo Knight to bust out the Go Say Great and Go Say Grand Megazords.
They negate the monster's gusting wind attacks, utilizing the See Go Say Great Megazord's Summon Bucketful of Water attack to drench the creature's wings, delivering the final punchline with the Go Say Grand Megazord's Victory Charge Grand Strike.
With No Joke's stand-up finally at an end, Noah and the others thank Robo Knight for being the straight man to his lame Joker, before delivering one last parting line.
Hey, Robo Knight. Why do birds fly south for the winter?
It's easier than walking. That was the logical answer.
Oh, please, it wasn't that funny.
What can I say? Robo-Dude really knows how to nail his delivery. And honestly, Noah's attempts at a solo act are a sorry sight to see. And that's the end of our episode. So, what did we think of it? Well, this is certainly an interesting exploration of the nature of comedy.
Yes. Interesting.
Okay, let's just cut to the chase. The jokes are terrible.
Horrendous.
Awful.
The comedic equivalent of a massive cerebral infarction.
Okay, that's a bit much, but I think we've made our point. However, and I absolutely hate using this defense, but in this case I think it's fair. This is a kids' show we're talking about.
I don't see how that's relevant.
Well, these are exactly the kind of jokes kids tell each other.
Really?
I think so. It's not exactly like either of us have much of a childhood to go off of.
That's true.
Anywho, let's shift focus to the story.
Yes, let's.
Structurally speaking, the story is surprisingly sound, establishing the threat early and upping the stakes throughout, along with some bits of foreshadowing on the eventual resolution. And unlike last time, we actually see the unmorphed Rangers bonding as a team, expressing concern for one another, and developing their strategies, which are all key to staying invested in their characters.
However, the actual threat that they are facing is another matter entirely. Despite all of their attempts to convey the gravitas of the situation, there is one simple fact that continually undermines one's ability to take them seriously.
Laughter is not a necessity.
Due to this episode's treatment of laughter as something which cannot be controlled, Megaforce Blue is repeatedly regarded as someone with some sort of supernatural ability, when he is in fact simply the only character exerting any self-control, making his teammates appear downright incompetent by comparison.
I can't help myself!
But in this sea of bad comedy, there is one character that I believe deserves special mention for being genuinely and unironically funny, and I can't even believe I'm saying this. It's Robo Knight.
That was the logical answer.
I find this highly disturbing.
It's true. He's the only one who has the comedic timing and deadpan delivery to actually make these terrible jokes work.
I suddenly feel an intense need to wash my hands.
Overall, underneath the corny comedic dissonance and somewhat absurd premise, we actually do have a fairly decent story here, emphasizing the importance of trust, recognizing differences, and learning to accept an inherent part of yourself that you might prefer to deny. But you can't deny things forever, and I think that's an important lesson. I think I might be finally ready to learn.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I'll prepare the tests then.
Good. So, make sure to join us next time. We'll be taking a look at episode 13 of Power Rangers Megaforce, Dream Snatcher.
Until then,
Farewell, Ranger fans, and let the power protect you.